Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the motorcycle dealers can't sell, and it's getting worse for 2026. Number 12, BMW R18. The BMW R18 is a motorcycle dealers simply cannot move, and the situation looks worse heading into 2026. On paper, it sounds impressive. A massive 1800cc boxer engine, premium badge value, and classic styling meant to pull in big cruiser buyers. In real showrooms across the US, it sits for months. The main issue is price. With sticker prices often pushing past $18,000 and climbing well over $22,000 once fees are added, buyers expect perfection. What they get feels heavy, stiff, and out of step with how most Americans actually ride. At over 760 pounds wet, the R18 intimidates casual riders and even experienced cruiser owners. Low-speed handling feels awkward, parking lot turns are stressful, and long rides highlight how firm the suspension really is. Dealers report test rides that do not convert into sales, which is a bad sign in today's market. Ownership costs add fuel to the problem. Insurance runs high, maintenance is not cheap, and BMW parts pricing scares off buyers who want long-term peace of mind. For 2026, the market is moving toward lighter, more flexible machines with clearer value. The BMW R18 feels stuck between luxury pricing and limited real-world appeal. Until BMW addresses weight, comfort, and price, dealers will keep staring at unsold inventory. Number 11, Kawasaki Eliminator. The Kawasaki Eliminator is a motorcycle dealers expected to sell easily, but reality has been far rougher, and 2026 is shaping up even worse. On paper, it checks many boxes for American buyers. A manageable engine size, modern looks, and a price that starts around $6,600 should make it a steady seller. In showrooms, however, it often gets ignored, especially once buyers sit on it and compare options. The biggest problem is identity. The Eliminator feels caught between a beginner bike and a cruiser without fully satisfying either group. New riders find the seat height and forward controls slightly awkward, while experienced riders quickly notice the lack of punch and character. Highway performance is another sticking point. At US freeway speeds, the engine feels strained, vibration creeps in, and passing power is limited. Riders planning longer commutes or weekend trips lose confidence quickly. For a market that values relaxed highway riding, that hesitation kills sales. Pricing also works against it. Once dealer fees and taxes are added, many buyers are staring at close to $8,000. At that point, shoppers start looking at used middleweight cruisers or even larger bikes with stronger resale. Speaking of resale, early used listings already show soft values, which scares cautious buyers. In 2026, the Kawasaki Eliminator struggles to justify its price and purpose, leaving dealers stuck with inventory that just does not move. Number 10, Harley-Davidson Nightster. The Harley-Davidson Nightster is another motorcycle dealers are struggling to sell, and the situation keeps sliding deeper into 2026. It carries the Harley name, but that alone is no longer enough to move bikes at this price. With starting price around $13,000 and easily crossing $15,000 out the door, buyers expect strong value, solid comfort, and classic Harley feel. The Nightster delivers none of that consistently. The biggest complaint is how it rides. The suspension feels stiff, the rear travel is limited, and rough US roads quickly expose how unforgiving the setup is. Short rides feel fine, but longer trips become tiring fast. For a bike aimed at everyday street use, that lack of comfort turns buyers away during test rides. The engine also divides opinion. While the Revolution Max motor is modern and quick, it does not sound or feel like what many Harley buyers want. Throttle response can feel abrupt at low speeds, and heat around the legs is noticeable in traffic. Ownership costs add pressure. Insurance is not cheap, maintenance costs are higher than rivals, and resale value has already started slipping. Used Nightsters are appearing with low miles and noticeable price cuts, which raises red flags for new buyers standing in dealerships. Harley aimed for a fresh audience with the Nightster, but pricing, comfort issues, and weak resale have left it stuck on showroom floors, making it one of the harder Harleys to move in 2026. Number 9, Indian FTR. The Indian FTR is a motorcycle dealers thought would excite buyers, yet it continues to gather dust on showroom floors, and the problem is growing in 2026. It looks aggressive and different, but that visual appeal fades once buyers look closer at price and daily usability. With pricing starting around $13,000 and easily crossing $15,000 after fees, expectations rise fast and the FTR struggles to meet them. The biggest issue is practicality. The riding position is awkward for longer trips, the seat feels firm, and the suspension setup favors short bursts rather than real-world US roads. City riding is fine, but highway miles quickly become tiring. Buyers looking for a versatile street bike walk away once they realize how limited its comfort range really is. Fuel range is another deal breaker. The small tank means frequent stops, which frustrates riders used to longer stretches between fill-ups. For American riders who value distance and convenience, this alone pushes many toward other options. Ownership costs also hurt demand. Insurance runs higher than expected, tire wear is fast, and maintenance costs do not align with how often the bike actually gets ridden. The Indian FTR looks bold but sells poorly because it asks premium money while delivering limited comfort and everyday usefulness, leaving dealers stuck with inventory they cannot easily move. Number 8. Suzuki Boulevard M109R. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R is a motorcycle dealer's struggle to sell despite its muscle bike image, and the outlook remains rough in 2026. On paper, the massive 1800cc engine and aggressive styling should attract attention, but in real US showrooms, buyers hesitate once they look past the spec sheet. With prices often landing around $15,000 out the door, shoppers start questioning what they are actually getting. Weight and handling are the first red flags. The bike feels heavy at low speeds, wide through corners, and tiring in everyday riding. Parking lots and tight city streets expose how cumbersome it can be, which immediately limits its appeal beyond straight-line cruising. Many test riders enjoy the power, then quickly realize they would not want to live with it daily. Comfort is another weak spot. The riding position puts strain on the lower back, suspension feedback is harsh on uneven roads, and long highway rides become work rather than relaxation. For a cruiser aimed at American highways, that hurts sales more than raw numbers ever could. Ownership costs add to buyer hesitation. Insurance is high due to the engine size, fuel consumption is heavy, and resale value has dropped sharply in recent years. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R delivers brute force, but lacks balance, comfort, and resale confidence, making it a tough sell for dealers in 2026. Number 7. Triumph Rocket 3. The Triumph Rocket 3 is a motorcycle dealers admire but rarely sell, and the situation remains difficult in 2026. Its massive engine grabs attention, yet that same size becomes its biggest problem once buyers start thinking about daily use and long-term costs. With prices starting around $23,000 and climbing well past $26,000 out the door, the pool of interested buyers shrinks fast. Weight and size work against it. The bike feels intimidating at low speeds, tight turns demand effort, and parking can feel stressful even for experienced riders. Many test rides end with respect for the power, followed by the realization that it is simply too much bike for real-world riding. That gap between excitement and ownership kills deals. Comfort does not fully justify the price either. The suspension feels firm for such a large machine. Heat management is noticeable in traffic, and long rides can become tiring despite the relaxed riding position. Running costs add another layer of hesitation. Insurance premiums are high, tires wear quickly, and fuel consumption is heavy. The Triumph Rocket 3 is impressive but impractical for most riders, leaving dealers with an expensive machine that draws looks but struggles to find a committed buyer in 2026. Number 6. Indian Challenger. The Indian Challenger is a motorcycle dealer's expected to dominate the bagger space, yet it continues to sit unsold and the pressure is building in 2026. With prices starting around $22,000 and easily reaching $26,000 after fees, buyers expect strong comfort, clear value, and long-term confidence. Instead, many walk away unsure it justifies the money. The biggest issue is weight and feel. At low speeds, the Challenger feels bulky and demanding, especially in parking lots and traffic. Test rides often highlight how heavy it feels compared to expectations, which immediately turns off riders who want an easygoing touring machine. For daily riding, it feels more like a commitment than a pleasure. Ride quality also disappoints some buyers. While it looks premium, the suspension does not always smooth out rough U.S. highways as well as shoppers expect at this price point. Ownership costs make the decision harder. Insurance is expensive, maintenance is not cheap, and resale value has shown early signs of weakness. The Indian Challenger asks premium dollars but delivers a riding experience many buyers find too heavy, too costly, and too risky to justify, leaving dealers struggling to clear inventory. Number 5. BMW K1600B. The BMW K1600B is a motorcycle dealers have a hard time moving, and the problem keeps getting worse in 2026. It carries a premium touring image, but the price alone scares off most buyers. With starting price near $26,000 and pushing past $30,000 once taxes and dealer fees are added, shoppers expect top-tier comfort and effortless ownership. What they find instead feels overly complex and intimidating. Weight is a major issue. The K1600B feels massive at low speeds, and parking lot maneuvers demand confidence and strength. For many American riders, especially older touring buyers, that alone is enough to walk away. Test rides often feel impressive on open roads, then stressful the moment speeds drop. Maintenance and ownership costs also hurt demand. BMW service is expensive, parts are not cheap, and long-term reliability concerns make buyers hesitate. Resale value adds another warning sign. Used K1600B models are already showing heavy depreciation, with some losing thousands of dollars in a short time. Buyers see those listings and question why they should buy new at full price. The BMW K1600B offers advanced tech and strong performance, but its high price, heavy feel, and costly ownership keep dealers stuck with inventory that few riders are willing to commit to. Number 4. Harley-Davidson Pan America. The Harley-Davidson Pan America is a motorcycle dealers expected to flip fast, yet many units remain unsold, and the pressure continues in 2026. It carries a bold price tag, starting around $17,000 and climbing past $19,000 out the door, which puts it head-to-head with proven competitors. Buyers walk in curious, then hesitate once they weigh cost against real-world use. The biggest issue is trust. Many buyers still question long-term reliability, especially for a bike meant to travel far from home. Early owner feedback about software glitches, sensor issues, and inconsistent fit has spread fast. That doubt shows up during test rides where interest fades into caution. Weight and height also work against it. Despite adaptive ride height, the bike feels top-heavy at low speeds, and off-pavement riding feels more stressful than expected. Ownership costs add more friction. Insurance is high, service costs are not light, and parts pricing reflects the Harley badge. Resale value has already softened, with lightly used Pan Americas listed well below new pricing, which makes buyers question the smart money move. The Harley-Davidson Pan America looks ambitious, but pricing, reliability concerns, and ownership costs continue to slow sales, leaving dealers with inventory that is harder to clear than expected in 2026. Number 3. Indian Scout Bobber. The Indian Scout Bobber is a motorcycle that once sold on looks alone, but dealers now struggle to move it, and the slide continues in 2026. It still turns heads in the showroom, yet buyers hesitate once the conversation shifts to comfort, price, and daily use. With prices starting around $13,000 and climbing close to $15,000 after fees, expectations rise quickly and the bike struggles to justify the spend. Ride comfort is the first reality check. The low seat looks good but offers very little padding, and rear suspension travel is limited. Short rides feel fine, but longer stretches quickly become uncomfortable, which matters a lot for U.S. buyers who spend time on highways. Test rides often expose this within minutes. Practicality also works against it. Minimal wind protection, limited fuel range, and a stiff riding posture make it feel more like a style piece than an everyday motorcycle. Buyers looking for something versatile often walk away once they realize how narrow its use case really is. Value retention has also cooled. Used Scout bobbers are showing up with low miles and noticeable price drops, which hurts confidence for new buyers. The Indian Scout bobber still looks great, but in 2026, looks alone are no longer enough to keep it moving off dealer floors. Number 2. Triumph Trident 660. The Triumph Trident 660 is a motorcycle dealers expected to sell in volume, but demand has cooled sharply, and inventory is starting to pile up in 2026. With a starting price around $8,000 and closer to $10,000 once fees are added, buyers expect a lively street bike with strong everyday comfort. What they often feel instead is something that lacks urgency. Performance is the first letdown for many riders. The engine is smooth, but power delivery feels muted, especially in the mid-range where US riders want strong roll-on response. Test rides frequently end with riders saying it feels controlled but not exciting, which makes it hard to justify the price over rivals. Comfort is mixed as well. The seat is firm, wind protection is minimal, and highway cruising at American speeds leaves the bike feeling busy. For commuting it works, but for longer rides it demands more effort than buyers expect in this segment. Value perception hurts sales the most. At nearly $10,000 out the door, shoppers start comparing it with larger used bikes that offer more power and presence. Early resale numbers are not strong either, with lightly used Tridents already discounted enough to make new buyers hesitate. The Triumph Trident 660 is polished but safe. And that lack of excitement is exactly why dealers are finding it harder to sell in 2026. Number 1. Harley-Davidson Sportster S. The Harley-Davidson Sportster S is a motorcycle dealers expected to pull in a new wave of buyers, but instead it has become a slow mover and the struggle continues in 2026. With prices starting around $15,000 and quickly crossing $17,000 after dealer fees, buyers expect a comfortable, usable Harley that fits real American riding. What they experience often tells a different story. The ride quality turns people off fast. The rear suspension has very limited travel and rough roads send sharp feedback straight to the rider. Longer rides become tiring, especially on highways, which hurts its appeal in a market that values comfort just as much as style. Test rides regularly end with interest cooling down. The riding position adds to the issue. Mid-mounted controls and a flat seat look sporty, but they do not suit everyone. Taller riders feel cramped, while shorter riders struggle with confidence at stops due to the bike's weight. It feels more like a statement bike than a practical one. Cost of ownership raises more doubts. Insurance is expensive, service costs are high, and resale value has already taken a hit, with lightly used Sportster S models selling for much less than new. Buyers notice those listings and hesitate to commit. The Sportster S looks aggressive and modern, but high pricing, harsh ride quality, and weak resale keep it stuck on showroom floors in 2026. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.